Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for today's MLB slate on Friday, August the 23rd. We got a full slate of games tonight on Friday night, guys. I got two early player props I do like for tonight's slate, taking a first look at the board on Friday morning. We're going to talk through these two plays, and we're going to share why I like them. Now, before we do get started, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. If you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have a Prizepicks account, be sure to sign up, use promo code NOAH, and when you place your first $5 lineup, you'll instantly get $50 in promo funds added to your account when you use that promo code NOAH at sign up. So check out Prizepicks, guys, if you have not yet. And also, we do have a partnership with Sleeper. If you guys want to check out Sleeper, you can do so linked down below in the description. Or again, just make sure to use that promo code NOAH over on Sleeper. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. And if you don't know what Sleeper is, they are a DFS pick'em app similar to Prizepicks, where you just pick more or less on player projections. You build out an entry. You can make up to an 8-pick entry on Sleeper, and you can win up to 100x your money. So if you guys want to check out Sleeper, make sure to do so. Again, just use that promo code NOAH, or just click the link down in the description. But let's go ahead and talk through what I'm liking for Friday's MLB slate, guys. Now, I do want to recap our two plays from Thursday before we talk through today's plays. So, Thursday was another frustrating day, man. We took Patrick Corbin for less than 5.5 strikeouts. Really like that play. Corbin's line got bumped down to 5. Before the game started, we got some value there. But he mowed down the Rockies. I mean, the Rockies have been terrible against left-handed pitching this season, but I definitely didn't think Corbin had that kind of strikeout upside in him. But he went out there and I think he got 8 strikeouts, which might have been a season high for him. Guess it just shows how bad the Rockies are against left-handed pitching. What do I know? But yeah, it was a tough day there. Corbin, pitched really well, and then we took Nick Lodolo more than 16.5 pitching outs. Got some value on that. Lodolo's line got bumped up to 17. Felt really good about that play on Lodolo, and he was pitching pretty well. I think he had gotten through 4 innings at like 60 pitches, so he was well on pace to go over his pitching outs line, and then he just completely unraveled in the 4th inning, or in the 5th inning. He gave up like 5 runs in 1 inning, and got pulled before he could even go over his pitching outs line. And I gave out a prop I gave out on Patreon yesterday was his fantasy score, because I really liked his fantasy score once they posted that line at 31.5. That line got bumped up to 33.5. We took his fantasy score as a play I gave out on Patreon, and Lodolo went over his fantasy score by like 12 points, I think. He had like 40 fantasy points or something like that. And then, he gives up those 5 runs, loses 15 points, and goes under. Like, that's just the luck I've had in MLB lately. But, yeah, we're going to try and get back at it, guys. Try and, hit a win today. And, we're going to talk through the props I'm liking for this Friday slate. So we got 2 plays for today, guys. Let's go ahead and talk through them. So the first prop I'm liking for today is a pitcher fantasy score. And the prop that I'm liking here is Chris Sale. We're going to take Chris Sale for more than 42.5 pitcher fantasy score. So if you look at Chris Sale as of late, he's gone over this line in 3 out of his last 5 starts for what it's worth. Did go under in back-to-back starts against Milwaukee. Not the easiest matchup. Milwaukee's been pretty decent against left-handed pitching this season, but he went over against the Mets, which was not the easiest matchup. Went over against the Giants, which was a good matchup, had 61 fantasy score, and then went over in his last start against the Angels, 52 fantasy score. I know this line at 42.5 does seem pretty high, but Chris Sale has been one of, if not the best pitcher in the league this season. He has pitched, he's pitched incredibly well. His metrics across the board are, elite. I mean, he ranks 97th percentile in expected ERA, 88th percentile in expected batting average, 95th percentile in chase percentage, 89th percentile in whiff percentage. His strikeout rate this year is up to 33.6%, which is 97th percentile. You look at Chris Sale's numbers this year, and he's pitching like he was pitching back in 2018, 2019, when he was one of the best pitchers in the league when he was on the White Sox. That's the type of pitcher he's been this year. He's been that dominant. So I think this is a really, this is a pitcher who is pitching really well right now, who's in a great form, and he gets a pretty good matchup here against the Nationals. The Nationals this season have been pretty mediocre against left-handed pitching. Now, the Nationals are a tougher team to strike out, but you can just see that the books aren't really, expecting much of a dip in strikeouts here for Chris Sale, because they have him at a 7.5 strikeout prop, and a lot of sports books are actually favoring the over on that strikeout prop for Sale. For those of you that can't bet fantasy score, or if you don't want to take fantasy score, I do like Chris Sale to have more than 7.5 strikeouts. If he goes over that, if he gets 8 strikeouts, I think he's got a pretty good chance at also going over fantasy score. But I definitely think this is a spot where Sale has a good shot at a quality start. I think he's got a good shot at a win as well, because the Braves are big favorites in this game. The Braves are playing at home where they're big favorites. So I think that's why I like fantasy score a little bit more, because Sale does have a good chance at a quality start and a win. But if you want to take more than 7.5 strikeouts, I think that's fine as well. Again, Sale's been one of the most dominant pitchers in the league this year. And although the Nationals have been a low strikeout team against left-handed pitching, they also haven't faced Chris Sale much this year. I mean, they have faced Chris Sale once this year, and Sale went out there and dominated against the Nationals. He went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 10 strikeouts. He put up 49 fantasy score last time he faced Washington. Wouldn't be surprised if you see sort of a similar outing here for Chris Sale today. Really like the spot for him. I think this is a pretty good matchup. Even though the Nationals are a low strikeout team, their offensive numbers against left-handed pitching have not been good, especially as of late. Like if you look at the last 30 days, Washington ranks, let's see, where do they rank? They rank 12th in WRC plus over the last 30 days against lefties. But I want to say if you look at the last 14 days, look at a more recent sample, Washington ranks 20th in WRC plus. So their offensive metrics against left-handed pitching are not that great, and now they're going to be facing probably, if not the best left-handed pitcher in baseball this year in Chris Sale. So really like the spot for Chris Sale. Like him to go over 42.5 fantasy score here. Good matchup. Even though the Nationals are a low K team, Sale's got great strikeout stuff, and he can still go out there and put up 8, 9, 10 strikeouts here. And even if he doesn't get 8 or 9 strikeouts, like let's say he only gets 6 strikeouts, he could still pitch 6, 7 innings, only give up a run or 2, get a quality start, get a win, and that probably would be enough for him to go over this fantasy score. So I think we got a lot of ways that we can cash this fantasy score here for Chris Sale. So I do like that as our first prop for tonight, guys. And then the other prop that I like to pair with that is a strikeout prop. And we're going to take Joe Musgrove, and we're going to take him for less than 5.5 strikeouts. So Musgrove has been injured a lot this season. He's only made, I believe, 10 starts this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 starts. He's made 12 starts this year, but he's been injured for a lot of the season. He got injured, I want to say, in like late May. He got injured, and then he made his return about 3 months later. Mid-August, he made his return. And in his return against the Pirates, he went 4 1/3, only had 1 strikeout. And then in his last start against the Rockies, he did rack up 6 strikeouts, but that was a very friendly matchup for strikeouts. The Rockies have been one of the highest strikeout teams in the league this season. If you look at the 12 starts that Musgrove has made this year, he has only gone over this K prop 3 times, so he's under this line in 9 out of 12 starts this season. And 2 of the starts he went over were against Colorado and Cincinnati, which are 2 teams that do strike out against right-handed pitching. He did go over against the Cardinals, but this is a matchup that I think is a bit tougher here for Joe Musgrove facing the Mets. The Mets have been a pretty low K team against right-handed pitching this season. If you look at where they rank 18th, so they've been below league average in strikeout rate against righties this season. If you do look at a recent sample, the Mets have been striking out a little bit more as of late. Like over the last 14 days, they rank, they rank 12th in strikeout rate over the last 14 days against right-handed pitching. Over the last 30 days, they rank 9th in strikeout rate. So they've been striking out a little bit more lately. But Musgrove still has not shown a bunch of strikeout upside this year. His K rate is actually down to only 20.6%. He's actually got the lowest. This is tied for the lowest strikeout rate of his career. Now, sure, it's kind of a small sample. He's only made 12 starts this season. But clearly, Musgrove has not had the same strikeout stuff that he used to have. Like last season, he had a K rate over 24%. The season before that, he had a K rate over 24%. In 2021, he had a strikeout rate over 27%. Well, this year, his strikeout rate is down to 20.6%, which is tied for the lowest of his career. He did have a 20.6% K rate back in 2018. But yeah, the strikeout stuff has not been there this year for Musgrove. He's not really been pitching that well this season either. He's been kind of injured. And also, this is going to be his 3rd start back from injury. And if you look at Musgrove so far since he's come back from injury in the 2 starts he's made, he's had a pretty short leash. So in the start against Pittsburgh where he went 4 1/3, he only threw 63 pitches. They pulled him before he could even go through 5 innings. And he wasn't even pitching that bad. He had only given up 2 hits and one walk. He had allowed no runs, but they still pulled him after 63 pitches. And then in his last start against the Rockies, he allowed just 1 run, 2 walks, 3 hits through 4 1/3, and they pulled him at 73 pitches. There's a good chance Musgrove might only go 5 innings here. Like even if he's pitching well, if he gets through 5 innings and he's at 75, 80 pitches, with how quick of a leash he has had the last 2 starts, they might pull him after 5 innings here. They don't want him going super deep into the game, potentially risking getting re-injured again. So I think we got a lot of ways that we can cash this under on Joe Musgrove. For one, I don't think it's the easiest matchup for him. For two, I think it's a pitcher that's kind of on a decline. He's not really had the same strikeout stuff that he has had in previous seasons. And the leash on Musgrove has been really short. He's been getting pulled quickly in starts. He's not even been able to go through 5 innings in his last 2 starts. That's another way that we could cash this under is, maybe he just isn't very efficient with his pitch count. He gets through 4 innings and he's at 80 pitches, and maybe they just pull him, at 4 innings. We'll see. But yeah, I like this under on Musgrove. Sportsbooks are favoring the under on this prop, so that's what we're going to roll with, guys, as our 2 props for Friday. Chris Sale, more than 42.5 fantasy score, and Joe Musgrove, less than 5.5 strikeouts. If you guys are tailing me on these 2 plays, let's hit these plays today. Let's make some money on this slate, guys. Appreciate you watching as always. Hit that like button down below if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, guys, go check out Prizepicks. If you don't have an account on Prizepicks, sign up, use promo code NOAH. And when you place your first $5 lineup, you'll instantly get $50 in promo funds added to your account. But that's all that I got for tonight. Good luck on the slate, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.